So we have race 21 in prospect here at Adria. We return to senior Rotax. This time it is heat 5 for these drivers. Groups A versus D, and let's have a look at the starting order. Sean Butcher and Luca Lystra will be on the front row of the grid. Just behind them will be Andrej Petrovic and Callum Bradshaw. Flint Schuring and Enzo Cadahas round out the top 3 rows ahead of Lachlan Robinson and Ethan Farhamond rounding out row 4. Completing the top 10, it's Benedek Vida and Felix Jansson. Rounding out the top 20 in this particular order will be Zabolgs Lantos, Tom Bilou, Zino Kovac, Leonardo Tiozzo, Giuseppe Forenzi, Mario Sidler, Bendit Savo, Theo Eriksson, Sasha Clavadeccia and Matteo Pianizzola. Rounding out the 31 strong, it is Julien Baudet-Kolarov, Pierre Dorstein, Andrea Giudice, Artur Horsch, Oskar Christensen, Jarden Ived, Max Stemmerdink, Leonardo Del Col, Timotheus Kiadz from Poland, Matteo Richter, and Anthony Bilou from France. So 10 minutes plus an additional lap to go in this race. So for these drivers, they'll have earned a respite and get themselves ready for tomorrow. The top 30 will go through after the intermediate classification to the finals. We have 62 drivers, and what will happen to effectively the 36 that will go into the second chance heat will battle over 6 positions, but after today it looks like it could be goodbye to some of the drivers before we go but look at this, we go racing straight away, and Butcher goes ultra defensive on Petrovic and gets the jump on everybody. Good start by Lachlan Robinson, who forces his way up the inside of Flint Schuring. As you can see, one of the JJ Racing carts go off the track. That could have been Mario Sidler and drops all the way down to the back part of the field. But 9.5 minutes still to go as they are all squabbling for track position. It's 3 wide, 4 wide coming out of the turn 5 hairpin. Oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable what I've just seen just there. And Artur Horsch looks to have an issue with the kart, so the French driver could be out very, very early indeed of this race. But now we have a bit of a fight on our hands because, look, top 8 a line astern. That's from Sean Butcher all the way down to Ethan Farhamond. And now Lachlan Robinson is actually showing a good turn of pace and is just absolutely banzaied up the inside, more than likely on Enzo Cadahas. It's all kicking off here in seniors. It normally does as well. But you can just see here that there are some drivers that are going really opportunistic. Ethan Farhamond being one of them, and is ahead of Benedek Vida from KSB. Felix Jansson rounds out the top 10. But Sean Butcher has got a bit of clear air in front of him, and there is a little bit of a touch together. That looks to be between the 327 of Enzo Cadahas and the 372 of Ethan Farhamond. They're all squabbling over the same bit of tarmac. It's not easy out there, but the drivers are starting to get into a rhythm. Once things start to settle, and now the top 5 rounded out by the UAE's Lachlan Robinson has broken away. Top 5 covered by 1.2 seconds. And they've got a gap of around nearly 1.1 back to Flint Schuring as Luca Lystra, looking up the inside of Sean Butcher, takes the lead through turn 5. Callum Bradshaw in hot pursuit behind the 302 from KR Sports. And there you have Andrej Petrovic, and here comes Lockie Robinson. So this is where we really get a taster of what's to come tomorrow. But now Callum Bradshaw's got past Sean Butcher for P3. Robinson trying to send it up the inside of Petrovic. Looks one way going through the penultimate left-hander on the circuit, but thinks better of it. Backs out of it. Waits for the opportunity to get past. And now we'll get the run coming out of the final corner. It was a neater line on the apex coming from Robinson in accordance with Petrovic, who went a bit sideways coming out of the corner. Robinson trying to look to the outside to get the carry through turn 2. Not on that particular occasion. It's a little bit further back. There are still incredible battles going on between the likes of Kandahas, Lantos, Bodekolahov, Zino Kovac. Giuseppe Forenzi has unfortunately retired from this race, but we still have less than 7 minutes to go, and it has all exploded like a powder keg. The mushroom cloud of Rotax racing has descended here on Adria, and by goodness is it glorious. As now Robinson up the inside of Petrovic to take P4, and now is behind teammate at KR Sport, Sean Butcher. But Luca Lystra trying to stride away into the distance, but he's not being allowed to. Callum Bradshaw has just put in the fastest lap of the race. Personal best from Butcher, from Robinson, from Petrovic. And Petrovic has kept with Robinson. So the 320 has still kept within striking distance, and now it is between Lystra and Bradshaw. Bradshaw has already had 2 victories. Butcher's already had 2 victories, and now Bradshaw goes for the lead, gets the job done nice and neatly on Luca Lystra. But will Lystra respond? You're going to have to just keep your eyes on the 3 behind, because out of the 3 of them, the way that the pace has been going, Lachlan Robinson looks to be the quickest of the 3 and could go forward. But now it is a very, very interesting battle. We've had 2 DNFs, Flint Turing and Giuseppe Forenzi, out of this race. So Sasha Klavadeccia is the final driver out of the 29 that is still running. Theo Eriksson up into 18th. Mario Sidler up to 16th. Anthony Bilou up into 27th. Artur Roche in 24th behind Mateo Richter from the Czech Republic. As now the top 5 look to Concertina. We're about close to being halfway through this race. And Callum Bradshaw, having started 4th on the grid, has done exactly the same thing he's done in the previous 2 races. He's hit the front, but then he started to pull away. Luca Lystra has other ideas, and he's keeping with. And now, along with that, because those 2, you're seeing a bit of an interlocking battle there between the 2 drivers on the Tony Kart chassis. Well, keep your eyes on Sean Butcher and Lachlan Robinson, who have both put in personal best. Now, that's how close it's getting. We are now top 4, rounded up by Robinson, less than a second. 0.986 last time around. And Lystra, Butcher and Robinson set personal bests. Bradshaw didn't. Bradshaw actually was about 200 slower. Now we go to this little battle here. And, well, it's not exactly a small battle. It's actually quite a significant one. Tom Bilou looks to be in the middle of proceedings there. And looking to do his level best. You've got the likes of Lantos, Kovac, amongst other... Well, I'm just looking at who's surrounding. You've got Bodekolahov, Fahamond, but Luca Lystra's got the lead back. Lystra's now back in front of Bradshaw, and we've got 3 minutes and 53 seconds plus an additional lap to go. Sean Butcher and Lachlan Robinson 0.2 of a second apart. Not even that now, as they head into the next left-hander. And now Bradshaw... I think sometimes you have to have a bit of a mechanical sympathy with your equipment. And so what Bradshaw's doing is just keeping everything nicely oiled, ready for tomorrow, because that's when the real hard work begins. It's been a journey up until this point, and now the drivers, those that know that they're going to be in the top 30, based on their results, you know, with the likes of Lystra, Bradshaw, Butcher and Robinson, they will go through to tomorrow without any problem. But then there's other drivers further down the field that are having to contest with it. They're having to contest against each other, as we see the leaders go through into turn 2 with 180 seconds on the clock. Now, who is going to open up the taps on their carts? Because now you can understand that some drivers might be doing a bit of damage limitation, get themselves in a very good position for final 1 tomorrow, ahead of final 2. The intermediate classification in all the classes will decide the grid for the first final tomorrow, apart from Senior Rotax and DD2. The remaining categories will have their grids already decided through the intermediate classification. But Callum Bradshaw keeping in close proximity of Luca Lystra. It was exactly a second between Lystra and Robinson the last time they crossed the finish line. And with 2 minutes and 20 to go, it's anyone's guess, as now the gap has extended to just under 1.1 seconds. Callum Bradshaw has started putting the pressure on and also increasing, well, bettering his lap times. Puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 50.523. Personal best from Butcher, personal best from Lystra, personal best from Robinson, Petrovic, Benedek Vida, Felix Jansson. They've all gone quicker that time around. A bit of a howler for Tom Bilou, who's just had a 52.0 on this 1,302 metre circuit. But Lystra keeping ahead of Bradshaw. But Bradshaw, I think, is holding a little bit in reserve. And to be honest with you, when you've won a world championship in karting, you know how to work your way through a systematic weekend or a one-off event. But now 90 seconds to go, and it's still business as usual at the top 7. So Lystra leads from Bradshaw by 2.5 tenths of a second, and Lystra puts in the fastest lap of the race. Butcher and Robinson, 3rd and 4th. Petrovic, 5th. Benedek Vida, Felix Jansson, Savox Lantos, Enzo Calderas, Tom Bilou, Julien Baudet-Kolarov, Bendet Sabo, Zino Kovac, Ethan Fahamond and Mario Sidler round out the top 15 positions. Leonardo Del Col, unfortunately, has parked the kart on lap number 8 of this race. Anthony Bilou is the last of the 28 runners and riders that are still out there on the circuit. As next time around, we will go on to the penultimate lap of this race, the penultimate heat out of 6 here in Adria. But Robinson still rather up close and personable. One of the good things is that he's not trying to pressurise his teammate. He's just keeping with him. That's one of the good things that teammates do, that you don't take out your teammate. If it is in the finals, you've got every right to go for that position. But at the moment, it's about making sure you get there safe and sound. Good, solid driving from the KR Sport Giro. Luca Lystra running still up ahead as Matteo Richter has got past Artur Roche for 21st position. Mario Sidler up to 14th ahead of Julien Baudet-Kolarov, with Ethan Fahamond, Zino Kovac and Bened Sabo a little bit further up the order. But now the timer has expired, and this time last lap board goes out for Luca Lystra, Callum Bradshaw, Sean Butcher, Lachlan Robinson, Andrei Petrovic, Benedek Vida, Felix Jansson. Then you've got Zavox Lantos, Enzo Calderas, Tom Bilou, Bened Sabo, Zino Kovac, Mario Sidler, Ethan Fahamond, Andrea Giudice. You've also got Julien Baudet-Kolarov, Theo Eriksson, Per Dorestein, Max Stemedik, Oskar Christensen, Matteo Pianizola, Artur Roche, Matteo Richter, Sasha Klavedecha, Timoteus Kiades from Poland, Leonardo Tiozzo, Jaden Ived and Anthony Bilou. Retirements from Leonardo Del Col, Flint Schuring and Giuseppe Forenzi. But it's going to be a different winner this time around. And Luca Lystra takes a heat victory very, very shortly as the Bouvin Power driver representing Belgium comes out of the final corner and takes the checkered flag ahead of Callum Bradshaw. Sean and Lachlan Robinson has got past Sean Butcher in the meantime, so the UAE driver takes P3 at the end of that race ahead of Sean Butcher. Andrei Petrovic takes 5th ahead of Benedek Vida. Felix Jansson, Enzo Calderas, Tom Bilou, Zabox Lantos, Bened Sabo, Zino Kovac, with that is 4 Hungarians in the top 12. Ethan Fahamond, Andrea Giudice, Mario Sidler rounding out the top 15 ahead of Theo Eriksson, Julien Baudet-Kolarov, Per Dorestein, Max Stemedik, Oskar Christensen, Artur Roche, Matteo Pianizola, Matteo Richter, Sasha Klavedecha. Then we got Kiads from Poland in 25th ahead of Leonardo Tiozzo, Jaden Ived and Anthony Bilou rounding out the 28 that finished. Unfortunately, retirements on lap 8 for Leonardo Del Col, lap 2 for Flint Schuring and lap 1 for Giuseppe Forenzi.